You get him a little. Let me get settled here for 1 second, please. Good morning, fellow Millersville University graduates. Congratulations on this achievement. I know that it took a lot of hard work to get here. I'm sure that your family and friends are tremendously proud of you. I'm proud of you too. I want to start by extending a thank you to Dr. Wuba for inviting me here today for the opportunity to speak with you. The Millersville community has been incredibly important to me over the years, from launching me on a fulfilling career to introducing me to new pursuits. It's truly an honor to be here with you today. Let me introduce this big guy down here. This is Hogan, my guide dog. You know, people, they'll always ask me, how did you and Hogan get matched up? How did you guys meet? Well, obviously, just like everybody else these days, we met on Bumble. As you soon will realize, graduating from Millersville will stay with you for life. A few weeks ago in Washington, D.C., near my house on Capitol Hill, I attended a university alumni reception. The alumni there spanned several decades from the 1960s to today, yet there was an instant connection between all of us. At the event, I also had the chance to speak with Dr. Wuba and Dr. Ramos. I should note, as mentioned by Dr. Wuba, I perform a little stand-up comedy as a hobby around Washington, D.C., and I wanted to reassure them that I wouldn't get too carried away with jokes. But I'm going to work in a few, okay? They suggested I tell you my story and give you a few tips for your post-graduation journey. I grew up in Timonium, Maryland, and have been blind since birth with a little bit of peripheral vision. So in true stand-up comedy fashion, I got to tell you, you're a good-looking crowd. People are always curious as to how being blind affects my life. You know, indeed, it comes with unique challenges. We all face obstacles, and I always believe there's a way to prevail. I've had some hurdles, but I choose not to let them define me. There are some benefits to being blind, though. I get to spend all day and all the time with my good buddy Hogan. He does shed and get all hair on my suits, though, you know, a lot of hair on my suits. Along this path, I've also been so thankful and lucky to have the love and encouragement of my parents and Bill and Kay Leahy. They're here with us today. My brother, who actually is a teacher of 35 years. My sister-in-law and my extended family. My sister-in-law has been a teacher for 35 plus years, so we know how great teaching is and how great the social work field is. And thank you for all you do. So my extended family has been incredibly supportive. My girlfriend, Krista, and friends. And when I say friends, you guys know how many great friends you made here at Millersville. Those friends will stick with you for life. Keep in touch. I graduated from Millersville in 1997, majoring in political science and history. With enthusiasm for public policy, I then went to work for several members of Congress and also a cabinet secretary. I currently work for the U.S. Election Assistance Commission in Washington, D.C., ensuring our elections are secure and accessible. Little public service announcement, make sure you vote. It's the bottom line of our democracy. Throughout this time, I've remained committed to athletics as well. I wrestled here at Millersville. The wrestling room is kind of right below, I think, where I'm standing. Spent a lot of time down there sweating and working hard and having a good time. Throughout the years, I've competed in amateur bodybuilding as well. I'm an avid fitness guy. I want to offer you 4 takeaway points. These are life lessons that I've learned firsthand throughout the years. I hope you find them helpful. First, I'd like to touch on the importance of seeing people for who they are instead of the differences they may have. My recent encounter with a group of kids in my neighborhood, I think illustrates this pretty well. It was late October last year. I was heading home from work with Hogan, of course, guiding the way. And he's a quick guiding dog. He works very fast, so these are lively commutes for both of us. And when we make these commutes, I keep him encouraged, and I think all of us sometimes will think of a voice for our dog, and Hogan's is something like this. I'm a guide dog, I'm a guide dog. So on this commute, did he put his head up? On this commute, Hogan was like, I love my guide dog gig, I love it. But I want to get home for dinner, man. On this beautiful evening, we flew down a lane near my house, making a hard right for home. A few steps down the sidewalk, there were some kiddos calling out to us, hey, can you stop? Can we take a picture of your dog? They were around 8 years old. Hogan and I, we were happy to oblige. Hogan bounced up and down as the camera shutters went off and the kids took pictures. Turns out we stumbled upon a kids' photography class from a local Capitol Hill arts workshop. It's like a block from my house. They invited Hogan and I to join them for a future class, and we were happy to do that. A couple weeks later, we came to class, and they treated Hogan and I like returning heroes. We took Hogan out for a spin. I got to show the kids how he works. And then we spent about an hour in the classroom talking about guide dogs and photography. Out of the gate came a great question from Emma. She was about 8 years old. During a walk, we were scooting down the sidewalk. She kept up with us and was beside me. And she had this question for me. She's like, hey, Pat, do people ever think of you as just being blind? You know, like that blind guy? I considered for a moment, and I replied, yeah, sometimes I think they do. Emma responded, yeah, I understand. That bothers me. There's so much more to you than that. It's not right that people would think of you that way. I smiled, and Emma continued, you know, Pat, I think of you as this friendly guy with a cool dog. How awesome is that? I would encourage you to always try to see people for who they are. We can learn so much from each other. I love it when a friend on my block might ask me, hey, Pat, did you see that remodeled house down the street? Or, hey, Pat, can you please take up my blue trash can? It's a compliment when people forget about your disability for a couple seconds. Good friends lend a helping hand, but they're always there for you when needed. I hope you can do the same with everyone you meet. Point 2, it's simple but so important. In your professional life, work hard. It's a competitive environment out there, and no matter whatever field you choose. My first internship was during my summer of junior year here at Millersville for Congressman Bob Walker in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. A recently retired professor here at Millersville helped me get that job, Charlie Greenawalt. We're friends to this day. I lived in Brookwood and traveled into Lancaster on the bus. My guide dog and I at the time, we wanted to get there early every morning, and we did that. After a couple weeks of this, the chief of staff pulled me aside, and he was like, Pat, since you're beating us here every day before we all get here, I'm just going to give you a key to the office, and if you could open up the place and sort the mail before we get here, we'd appreciate it. This set a good tone for the internship and helped me get my first job here in D.C., back down in D.C. a couple years later. A final thought on this work hard point. While you're working hard, make sure you have lots and lots of fun too. Next, I'd like to discuss a point you already know, but I think it's worth mentioning: the importance of dealing with and overcoming adversity. The past 3 years have presented you with challenges, but you've excelled. You'll run into obstacles in your life. As best you can, try to meet them head on with an open mind, strength, and thinking of possibilities. Let me give you a quick story about some adversity that came into my life a couple years ago. For background, I'll do this from the perspective of Galahad. I don't want to lose you here. There was a dog before Hogan. So his name was Galahad. He looked a lot like Hogan, but was a little bit bigger than Hogan. Same kind of happy-go-lucky personality and a great dog. I think this story works better from his perspective. In late 2014, a serious connective tissue disorder landed me in the hospital for 3 weeks. Thankfully, I'm feeling great these days. But it took me several months and a few more years to fully recover. I kept working at the office during these times. I kept hitting the gym. And I took up stand-up comedy because laughter is the best medicine. My family and friends were always there for me. Galahad lent his love and support. Many mornings when I didn't feel like getting out of bed, Galahad, all 93 pounds of him, would come up next to the bed and start licking my face, and then he would paw at me. I'd still not want to get up. I didn't feel too good. And then Galahad would take a few steps back and fly through the air and land on me. I know he wanted breakfast, but I also think my good friend was trying to get me up, out, and to work. Those days taught me about the beauty of life and the need to celebrate each moment. You'll face both minor and major adversity in your life. It's going to happen. Keep moving forward, seek solutions, and never give up. Reach out to friends and family for support. I find strength in praying for grace during those tough days. My fourth and final point for you: remember to give back to others and organizations. We all have a responsibility to make the world a better place, and by serving others, you'll find fulfillment and purpose. Over the years, I've been drawn to causes such as helping kids with disabilities get involved with athletics, helping Hogan's Guide Dog School, Guiding Eyes for the Blind, and serving on a few nonprofit boards. When you give back, you'll lift up lives, and in the process, find more meaning in your life. This past weekend, I traveled up to Guiding Eyes for our annual meeting of the graduate council for the school. I serve on the council. It was great to hang with my fellow graduates. We hadn't seen each other in a few years with everything going on. And we got to talking about how we could help people across the country. There was plenty of dog butt sniffing, though, and even Hogan, he participated in this. But importantly, most importantly, lots of collaboration on how we can help guide dog teams across the country. Please seek out that area of passion in your life. There's great satisfaction in working together to help others. You should consider volunteering here at Millersville. There are many ways to help out. You could serve on the alumni board of directors. You could help out at homecoming, or you could mentor a student. It's been rewarding for me to serve the college that offered me so much in the way of education and experience. Hey guys, that's Hogan and I nudging you to give back. Enjoy today. We look forward to all of your successes. For now, this is your neighborhood friendly guy and his cool dog extending heartfelt congratulations on all of your accomplishments. Congratulations.